everyone, and welcome to the Games I Love. And today I'm going to be showing you how to play a quick, simple, easy card game that pretty much anyone can literally learn within about 5 minutes or so, but is also fun to play, and that is this one here, Sushi Go. You've probably seen it around quite a lot now because it has become extremely popular over the last few years. As I said, it's really easy to pick up. The rules are extremely simple. There's only about 8 different card types in it. In the game, you are literally having a hand of cards. You're simultaneously putting a card down in front of you, and then you're passing that deck of cards to the player onto your left. And in turn, you're receiving the deck of cards from the person to your right. So every turn you're going to have a different hand of cards, and you're trying to get the most points possible in front of you at the end of 3 rounds. Let me get it onto the table. I will show you how to play it, and then afterwards, obviously, we'll come back up and I'll tell you why I love playing Sushi Go. So, as I said, to start a game of Sushi Go out, you will deal a number of cards equal to the number of players in the game. The game can play up to 2 to 5 players, and in this instance, I'm basically dealing as though we're playing a 5-player game. So in a 5-player game, you'll have 7 cards in your hand. What you'll do is, in turn, you will look at your hand of cards that you've got in front of you with all the different card types. So this is my hand here, so I've got some tempura, some maki roll, and some nigiri, like so. What you'll do is you'll look at your cards, and you'll pick one of these cards to put down in front of you. I don't know, I'll go for this one. So once everyone has picked what card they're going to do, someone will count down from 3, someone will place their card in front of them, and then they'll pass that hand to the person to the left of them, and in turn you will then receive that person to your right's hand of cards. So as you can see, I have got a completely different set of cards to use. So, you know, I've got wasabi, I've got pudding, and such and such. But obviously you will have one less card to choose from. So this is going to continue on. So you know, for example, I could place my dumpling down like so, pass that on, that goes on to the next one, and so on and so forth. Once all the players have got 7 cards in front of them, that round ends. You will count up the points that you have in front of you, and you will discard all the cards apart from puddings. I'll get onto the card types afterwards, but everything gets discarded apart from the puddings, and then a second round begins in exactly the same way. 7 new cards will be dealt to the players. The round will continue on again. After 3 rounds, once everyone has finished, you will tally up your points at the end, and whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. But how do you actually gain these points? Well, let me go over the different card types and how they get you those points. So the first lot of cards are the nigiris. You've got egg nigiri, salmon nigiri, and squid nigiri. And whenever you place one of these in front of you, they are literally worth the points that are listed on the bottom here. So egg nigiris are worth 1, salmon's worth 2, and squid is worth 3. Now, in a combo to this, if you place a wasabi down face up in front of you, the next nigiri that you can place on top of it, and that score is then tripled at the end of the round. So if I was to have this combo, I would get 9 points instead of 3. Maki rolls are a sort of a similar thing. They have denominations of 1, 2, and 3, but it's the total number of maki rolls that you have at the end of the round that corresponds to how many points you're going to earn. So the person that has the most total maki rolls on the top of their cards will get 6 points, and the second place will get 3. So in this instance, I will have 6 total maki rolls, but if I had this layout, I would have 5. Dumplings get better the more of those that you put down in front of you. So, for example, in this instance, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 dumplings, and because I have that, I would score 10 points. So, 1 dumpling card is worth 1 point, 2 is worth 3, 3 is worth 6, 4 is worth 10, and if you manage to get 5 dumpling cards in front of you, they're worth 15 points, which is a pretty high amount in this game. Anything over 5 is null and void, so just bear that in mind, that 5 is the total number of dumplings that you want to have in front of you, because the rest won't be worth anything at all. And now we come to the set cards. You've got tempura, so once you manage to get 2 tempura in front of you, you will score 5 points. If you only have 1 in front of you, you will score absolutely nothing. So once you get a set of 2 tempura, you get 5 points. And the same instance with sashimi. Sashimi is a little bit more difficult to get out. Once you get 3 sashimi down in front of you, you will get 10 points for it. But anything below that, you will get absolutely nothing. So you have to make sure that you have 3 of these in front of you, otherwise you will get no points at all. Now, chopsticks are a little bit different. They're not worth any points at all, but they can help you out in future turns. Once you place one in front of you like that, on a subsequent turn in your hand, you can say that you're going to pick up your chopsticks. What this basically allows you to do is pick 2 cards from the hand that you currently have instead of 1, and place those 2 in front of you like so. You then pick up the chopsticks, put them back into that hand, and then pass it on. So it's quite a good way of trying to get those set collection cards out. So if you've got 2 tempura in that hand, you've already got a guaranteed 5 points by doing that and using your chopsticks. And finally, we have pudding cards. Pudding cards don't score you any points at the end of the round, but they are worth end game scoring. So the person with the most pudding cards at the end of the game is going to score an additional 6 points. However, the person with the least amount of pudding cards, including people that don't have any pudding cards at all, will get minus 6 points. And if there's a tie in this, then the score is shared out between people. So if there's a tie for the most amount of pudding cards between 2 people, they will get 3 points each. Additionally, if there's a tie for people with the least amount, they will get minus 3 points each. Obviously, the more people that are tied, the more the points are shared out, rounded up. So yeah, these cards can be the deal breaker for most people, so you just got to bear that in mind when you're trying to figure out what card you want to play in your hand. These have won and lost games for me countless times already. So there we go, there's all the different card types and how they score. So now you know how to play Sushi Go, let's get back up and I'll tell you why I love playing this game. So there we have Sushi Go. What a fun, quick little game this is. It is definitely going to be classed as a filler game. I mean, most games take less than 15 minutes to play, and if you're only playing with 2 or 3 players, it's probably going to be even less than that. But there's a surprising amount of decision making to make. Naturally, there's going to be a luck element involved with this as well, especially in the slightly higher player counts, in that you don't know what the other players have got in their hands. So you could have a hand of 3 sashimi and like 2 tempura and a pudding, and you think, wow, that's going to be great for later turns, but then someone else might then take that sashimi from that hand, so by the time you get round to the hand that you originally had, those cards that you wanted probably aren't going to be there. So it's the risk-reward factor in that, you know, do you try and build up the sashimi to try and get a set of 3 for those 10 points? Do you start hoarding the dumplings so you can get possibly 5 and get 15 points? Or do you try and collect the puddings because you know that those puddings are going to be the make or break at the end of it with those additional 6 points, or the potential of losing minus 6 points at the end of the game? So yeah, there is definitely a lot of decision making to factor into this, despite it being such a small and simple game. Now, I've only got one minor gripe with the game, and it's sort of a nitpicky one really, in that there's been a couple of instances where I've been playing with people and they haven't really grasped how the chopsticks work. My wife especially still doesn't really know to this day quite how the mechanics of the chopsticks work, despite me telling her like a number of times how they work. But aside from that, that is literally it. Because all the chopsticks literally are is you're placing it down and preparing yourself just for a future turn. So you can play 2 cards instead of 1, and then you pass it on. And a couple of people have actually forgot to pick up the chopsticks and pass it on as well. So it's ended up with someone having fewer cards than everyone else in the game. But aside from that, that is literally the only nitpicky minor gripe there is. Apart from that, it's just such a fun, quick little game. It's inexpensive to purchase as well. I've seen it in my local bookstores now. That's how popular it's got. I know that there is a bigger party version of this. It's actually called Sushi Go Party, where it actually contains an actual board to keep track of your scores. That's the only other thing, is that there's no way to keep track of the scores in the game, but of course pretty much everyone has got a phone now with a calculator on, so or a way to make notes, so that's not really that much of a deal breaker at all. So yeah, if you do see this about, I would definitely highly recommend picking this up. It's great if you're traveling as well, because it fits in such a small container. As I said, there's not that many cards in the game, and it's just easy to take about with you. It's a great little filler game if you're waiting for other people to turn up for a board game evening. And yeah, just really charming and an easy and fun game to play. So I highly recommend Sushi Go. So, thank you once again for watching another edition of The Games I Love. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you soon with another game which I very much enjoy playing. See? So, that was another episode. No. So, thank you once again for watching The Games I Love. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and as usual, I'll be back with another video of a board game that I very much love playing. No, that doesn't sound great. That doesn't sound great. So that's it for The Games I Love for another video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and hopefully you've found another new game that you will also enjoy playing. So until then, I will see you again on another video with a board game that I love playing. Take care then, until next time.